Falcon volleyball is on the rise. I'm excited to talk to you today about our preseason and our upcoming matches. This past weekend we had a good outing, going 2-1 at the St. Edward's tournament, and we started off a little bit slow with a lot of errors, but the girls improved, learned a lot, and played well against a tough St. Ed's team. We lost to them, but we beat Purdue Northwest, and we finished playing our best volleyball on Saturday against Colorado Pueblo. It was great for us to play some good competition and really had some players step up. I'd like to mention a few of them. First, Skylar Frail, one of our captains, was named All-Tournament. And her counterpart, Giovanna Williams, our two middle hitters, both had very good tournaments and have continued their work from last year. I'm also excited that we had a couple of young ladies that were out last year with injury have bounced back. Quava Tulau, another captain, and Haley Robinson, a redshirt freshman, both have stepped up and really started to contribute this year, so we're excited about that. Finally, we had a couple of freshmen also have good tournaments. We have a freshman setter, Annalise Lucio, and an outside hitter, Aquincia Stramler, who both did very, very well for freshmen. So it's great that our team's coming together, improving. I think we ended up with just 8 hitting errors in our final match. So the girls are really starting to get a connection, and our passing and offense and defense are really improving. So we're excited to start conference play this next weekend. We'll go to Texas A&M Kingsville, and that'll be a good test for us. They're always good. After that, we have our first home match a week from today, or actually a week from tomorrow on Tuesday, 9/11. We'll host Eastern New Mexico. Any questions?
What are the girls' key to success, do you think, this season for them to really make a run?
I think it's going to be a team effort. We've had a few girls step up and have big games, but we really have to have a complete team effort. We've got a player or two that might have a big game, but they might not. And we really had a balanced attack our last match. I think we had players with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kills. So we really have to have that balanced offense. And our team defense has been very strong, and we've got to continue to build that because we're not a huge offensive team. We're a lot better than we were last year, but we've got to have good passing, setting, and team defense to hang with some of the teams in the Lone Star.
Coach, how does this compare to where you all were at this point early in the season last year?
Great question. We were similar. I think we were 3 and 4. But we were hit by the injury bug last year. So this year, knock on wood, we have been pretty fortunate with that, and we're staying healthier, and that's going to be a key to our success down the road.
Coach, you talked about wanting to see a lot of different looks from teams in your preseason. How has that helped you guys, and how has that made you better going on?
Well, we have seen a lot of different teams. We've had some teams with a great offense that we've had to focus on our defense. Other teams have served tough, so we identified some areas we needed to work on our ball control. We also got a chance to look at a couple conference teams too at these events, so that was good to kind of compare where we're at with where our conference foes are. And for instance, we were able to sweep Colorado Pueblo, where Eastern New Mexico went 5 with them, so that's a good sign that we're on track and doing the right things. Well, thank you for your coverage today, and I'm sure you guys are looking forward to talking with Justin.
All right, next up is UTPB head football coach Justin Kerrigan.
All right. Thank you all for coming out. First things I'll start off with is proud of our guys. I thought last year it took us a little bit to get into a game, get hit in the mouth a little bit before we kind of realized we could play with people. I thought we came out of the gate even after a 2.5-hour delay. I thought we came out strong on both sides of the ball. We got to be able to finish offensively, but we were able to move the ball down the field, get in the scoring zone, and we just got to finish. To have a team of about 28 scholarships, going up against 63. The hardest part was we could have won that game. If somebody had said, man, Penn State, they barely squeaked it out against App State this weekend. They won by 10. And so that's the same analogy. Texas Southern barely squeaked it out. They won by 10. That was a game that we could have won. And on paper, outmatched, scholarships outmatched, athletically in play. I thought we matched up well. Proud of how we played. Obviously some things that we got to clean up. So, what questions we got?
So I know you said this yesterday that the statue didn't even do John justice yesterday. Is he a Division I talent, and how big was that game Saturday?
I think a lot of our guys are Division I talent. I think they proved that Saturday night. For Texas Southern, their offense has 7 major Division I transfers on it. BYU, Boise State, Houston. I'm forgetting some of them, but 7 of them on there too deep offensively. And to see what some of our defensive guys did against that, I think it shows that a lot of them are Division I talent.
How much did I know obviously the weather was a big part of that game with the delay, and then I'm not sure how the field conditions played out with that. How much did that, you think, affect what you guys were able to do offensively, and then affect how things turned out for you guys on the defensive side as well?
Well, I think whenever you start talking about some of those circumstances that you can't control, both teams got to play in it. So it's just a matter of which one goes out with the right mindset and mentality and doesn't pay attention to those circumstances. I thought our guys came out with a lot of energy. Again, having to sit for 2.5 hours. I don't think the rain was any kind of factor. The field was in great condition. I give a lot of credit to their defense. And one thing we talked about going into it is we anticipated having a hard time hitting the big play just in the way that they defend. I thought we'd have a little bit of a hard time running the ball, which we were able to establish and do well. But I don't think the conditions and the delay affected our guys any. I think they were locked in and ready to go. I'm proud of them for attacking that moment the way they did.
In the first half, you were in the red zone twice, and y'all didn't come away with any points. How frustrating was that to you?
Beyond frustrating. It's frustrating not to get touchdowns. I don't want to settle for field goals. And that's on us as coaches and evaluating the film and some missed assignment stuff in there. We should have walked in for a couple touchdowns, but that's on us and having our guys prepared. And as an offensive coordinator, 100% of that blame goes on me for not being able to execute flawlessly down there in the red zone.
So stats, aside, if you just look at the game, touchdowns were scored when Sam was playing quarterback. What went into the decision, to make Cameron start a quarterback this week? I know you had a chance to watch the tape. Anything on that?
Well, it was the hard part was Cameron threw 2 phenomenal deep balls to Kyle McBride. And as great as the throws were, the defensive back, the corner, made 2 amazing plays on the ball. And that part of it was frustrating because we're getting good looks, we're throwing a good ball, and sometimes the defenders make good plays. And it was just at a point where at halftime, we talked about it a little bit and just thought that we had moved the ball well with Cameron. We had gotten down there a couple times, we just didn't finish. Didn't want to make a knee-jerk reaction. We came out in the third quarter and we were stale. We went 3 and out a couple times and we had to get a spark. There's one thing that we've said about Sam is that when he comes in, there's going to be a spark. There's just a different energy to him and the way that he plays. They're 2 different styles. And we needed that style to come in and give us a spark, and it did just that.
Well, you mentioned he gave you a spark. I felt like the offense played a lot better in the second half. Are you not factoring that in at all whenever you're making a decision between Cam and Sam going into this week?
We factor all of it in. The offense moved down the field in the first half, got down there twice. The difference is touchdowns, and you got to have those. And if you look at that part of it, and you would say the offense played better. But we moved the ball well with both guys on the field, and obviously having those touchdowns helped, but kind of in the same situation with both. We'll evaluate as we go through the week.
Do you anticipate, I know Sam, given the amount of time that he was in there, he ran the ball quite a bit. Do you anticipate having that as more of an aspect when he's in the game, or was that kind of just situational, the way the circumstances were for that game?
No, a lot of that was not designed specifically. There was a few times that they were designed runs for Sam. Some of that is just what Sam does. He's athletic and wants to utilize those talents, and that's part of Sam's game. So there wasn't anything designed. That's just a part of who he is. That's part of his game. And again, that's kind of where that spark comes from. That if things aren't clean or they don't look good, he's got the ability to take the ball and try to make something happen with his feet.
Defensively, the team played pretty well, other than a couple of big plays, in the first half. But how impressed were you with how they held up against a Division I opponent?
Beyond impressed. Again, 7 guys on that 2 deep offensively, transferred from major Division I programs. One of them being a 4-star recruit. I thought our defense, played better than I think anybody could have hoped. They played as well as we expected them on their abilities. I was proud of how well we stopped the run. Turnovers that we got, how many times have we got a hand on the ball? They have 3 turnovers and have opportunities, I think, at 5 others where we got hands on balls and had a chance at interceptions. I thought the defense played lights out.
Moving forward to this week's game, what are the main things that you guys are going to be working on this week?
Red zone, goal line, cleaning it up. Make sure that we're getting in the end zone. I thought we went into it with a good game plan, and we're able to establish a run. I think we ended at 5.5 yards a carry. Marquise and Adrian Walker both had great games running the ball. Our offensive line did a phenomenal job in the run game. We only gave up 1 sack in the passing game, and that was when Cameron tripped up on offensive linemen. So it wasn't like our quarterbacks were getting hit a bunch. They weren't necessarily running for their lives. We had a good time to throw. We had great running lanes. And I think the game plan was good. We just didn't finish, and that just comes down to coaching and making sure that our guys are prepared. That's the main things that we got to clean up this week.
How did you feel about the fan support that you had?
That was amazing. It was pretty surreal to look up there and see the number of people that we had, on our side of the stadium, and I think we matched up with them pretty well just as far as the fan support goes, and we appreciate that. And I know that means a lot to our kids, and it adds a little bit of energy to the sideline.
And I guess compared to last season, if you look at stats, and we talked about mental errors a little bit in the off season, but if you look at the stat sheet, y'all just had 1 penalty the entirety of the game. How did you feel about how the team did mentally going into that game?
I was proud of how we went into it. Again, I think our guys were locked in and ready to go after that delay. We handled it like professionals, veterans, and throughout the game, I thought operationally we played a clean game. That was a little bit of a concern going in, just with some of the new rules with the play clock and having to get plays in and substitutions in a timely manner. Our guys kept their composure throughout the game, and I thought we played a clean game. I thought the refs called a clean game as well. They let the guys play for the most part, but I was proud of how well our guys did in that regard.
Let's talk about your special teams from Saturday.
Well, Coach Brosio does a phenomenal job of getting our guys in a position for big plays, whether it be in a return or block, or any kind of fake, which we didn't run a fake of any kind. But the execution, we had 1 block kick by John. He got his hand on another one that made it through, and he was there for a 3rd one that he didn't get his hands on. And a lot of that goes back to the game planning of Coach Brosio, having the right guys in the right place, and then the players being able to execute that game plan, and those guys be able to help John get through and have an opportunity to block it. We had some good returns. One got negated by a holding penalty, and I voiced my opinion on that one. And I thought we had a phenomenal block. That was a clean block, but Coach Brosio does a great job in the special teams and making sure that we're able to execute things well. And obviously, we got to get the ball between the uprights on field goals and extra points.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, next up is junior right guard Hunter Bowers.
Wow.
You guys were effective at both the running and the passing game. How do you feel like you guys have gelled as a line? And what do you think going forward in terms of this week's game means for when you start playing Division II opponents and conference opponents?
Running the ball well, passing the ball well, I think that just comes with playing together over an a long period of time. And I feel like we've all unified as a group, as a unit, got close to each other, and that's what makes us really good at what we do. And I feel like going into these next couple of weeks, we plan to build off this game and just get better and better each week, and hopefully rush for more than 183 yards or 200, whatever it may be.
What was the difference, like, playing this week against a Division I team? How athletic were they up front? It was something that you felt like you guys were ready for?
We played Lamar last year, so we've seen Division I talent. We played it before. It wasn't really anything new to us. So going into the game, like we weren't really blindsided by anything. Like, we knew what we were getting ourselves into, and I think we all showed up and played to our fullest potential.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, linebacker, sophomore John Kelly.
How'd that sack feel? From our end, vantage point, it was wide open. You got the first one, the one where you got your sort of helmet in his chest. How big were your eyes when you came around that corner?
It felt great. Probably the cleanest sack I've had in my career. Yeah, it felt great.
It seems like you took a big step up. I mean, we're only one game into this year, but it seems like you're better than you were last year. Are you stronger? Are you faster? Have you picked up a new move?
I think most of our team's stronger and faster. We had 40, 50 guys stay this summer. I don't know the exact number. Coach Harrigan probably does, but about half the team stayed this summer, got stronger, faster, sacrificed time at home, and I think it really showed throughout the whole team. I think our secondary did a great job all night and really gave me time to get there. So I thought it was good for everybody this summer.
Yeah, talking more about the secondary, it seemed like even when they were getting passes off, they were getting flushed out of the pocket, and they didn't have too much time back there. How important was this, what the secondary did to what you guys were able to do up front?
Oh, it's everything. If our secondary can cover up and give us time to get there, we feel like we should get there every play. If they give us 4 seconds, we feel like we should get there. So yeah, with our secondary playing great, it makes it so much easier for all of us to do what we do.
You had that sack late in the second half where it was a strip sack and they were covered, but Keegan goes out there and gets the tip interception. That sequence kind of showed how y'all played in the second half, I guess. Was there like when Sam came in, was there like a spark that got lit on y'all's side of the ball too? Or, like what was kind of going through y'all's head?
I wouldn't say that. Sam did a great job of leading us and coming in. Cam did a great job of leading us in the first half. But Sam, he told us even when he wasn't in the game, he had our back and he was rooting for the whole team, and he did a great job on the sideline. When he came in, he told us just get the ball back and I'll go score. So yeah, I think he did a good job of backing us the whole game, not just when he came in.
You guys get hyped to come out for a game and the coaches have the timing down kind of to the second. How did the delay affect you guys? What was the atmosphere in the locker room, and how did you guys sort of come down and come back up?
I was proud of the team. I thought we did a good job staying mentally grounded and focused the whole time. We got a little energetic, had to get calmed down a little bit, but I talked to one of their players after the game, and he said even in the locker room, in the tunnel, y'all sounded like y'all wanted it more. So I thought we did a great job coming out after 2.5 hours. I thought it was 2.5 hour delay. I thought it was a great job by the team, offensively and defensively. We both came out hot, and I thought we played good.
So your stat sheet would just berserk this game, and some would even say that it didn't even do you justice. What went into this specific game that might have been different, that you were just really showed up the ball?
I don't think it was any different. I think we had all summer to prepare, and I think the whole team was hungry. We were just hungry to hit someone else and play some different competition. I thought it was I don't know, it was just such a long summer leading up to that game, and so much hard work put into it. I think everyone was just excited to get out there.
Heading into this weekend, what do you think you guys need to do to win?
I think we just need to prepare just like we prepared for last week. We watched film, we studied, and Texas Southern we didn't really have a lot of film on. With the new offensive coordinator, we didn't really know what to get from them, so we kind of had to wing it a little bit in the game. But we have more solid film on Northern Michigan, and I think we'll be game planned up and ready to go this week.
There was one play where a receiver was trying to get out of the backfield into the flat, and you end up tangled up with him. A flag comes in. We're all thinking it's going to be a defensive holding call. You went over and talked to the official, and all of a sudden he picked up the flag. Is that kind of what happened, and do you have a future in law?
No, I was already talking to him, and Coach Kerrigan came over and had my back, and that's what our defense is. We're a spill defense. If I thought he was coming to block me, and apparently he was going out for a route, and that's how I saw it. So I just had to explain it to the ref. Coach Kerrigan had my back, and we got it all cleared up.
Yeah, players never win.
Right.
And he did. I was
Right.
impressed.